Dave here. I'm with John Boy, superintendent of the Potter's House. John, how do the students experience God at the Potter's House?
I think that the staff leads the way in terms of experiencing God. What happens with our staff is that we look for people who are passionate about God when we hire. And we ask them when they come for the interview, are you willing to come every morning at 7:30 in the morning for morning prayers? As a staff, we're going to get together, we're going to pray, we're going to intercede, we're going to pray for our students, we're going to pray for each other. It's not going to be particularly religious. We're just going to be real with each other, honest about our spiritual journeys and our desire to follow after God, and we're going to pray into that. And so that happens every day with our staff, without fail. And what we do then is we invite the students into that same sort of spiritual community that the staff experiences every day. And so then when our students come in the school, the first thing we do is we greet them by name, shaking their hands, looking them in the eye, welcoming them, and into a place that we've spent a lot of time thinking about. How do we build a cultural atmosphere that establishes the peace of the kingdom of God? And how can we do that so that every student, no matter if you're marginalized or if you're exceptionally bright or popular, everyone fits in, everyone belongs. From there they go into their classrooms. They start with devotions each day, but beyond that, they study the Bible. Scriptural principles are integrated into everything that we do. The students are taught to pray. I've seen people like Senator Hardeman come in. One of the classrooms prayed for him for years as he was in office. And he and his wife, Clova, came in one time. They came in many times, but one time I remember. And the students gathered around him, and they asked if they could pray for him. And the students just began to pray. They just like popcorn. First they began to do adoration, just acknowledge the attributes of God. And then they began to thank God. And then they began to petition for Bill and Clova. And by that time, both Bill and Clova were in tears. And they were so taken back by these students right from the neighborhood that were so immersed in prayer and so comfortable with it. Beyond that, we also have discipleship for grades 4 through 12. All of our students are divided into groups of 4 with an adult role model. And once a week, we come together and work on discipleship issues. In the middle school, we've memorized the whole book of James one of our years. At other times, we study the Sermon on the Mount, the Beatitudes, and this year we're studying the book of Romans. And there's always a component of mission with that. So as they memorize verses every week, it's buying shoes for people in Uganda. Last year it was supporting a school in Honduras. This year it's a school in India. So there's always a missional component as well. And then there's just times during the day that the teachers will stop and pray with the students. It's just always a sense of, being in the presence of God. So in the high school, we do spiritual retreats that are very much in your face. They're not pressureful, but they're very much in terms of, it might be one retreat on confession, just on terms of acknowledging what's going on inside of you and what kinds of things need to get right with God. And again, it's just honest, because our students are from every different background, and we want every student to feel comfortable. So we have every denomination imaginable. You don't need to even be a Christian to come to our school, but the parents have to sign knowing that it's going to be based on, centered on Jesus from beginning to end. Then we also do mission trips in the high school. They might go to Mexico for a couple weeks and spend a couple hours in the morning on spiritual formation, and then work on building a house for a missionary or something like that. So there's just always this sense of the fact that we're here because we're followers of Jesus, and how can we, as teachers, grab the loves and the desires of the students and direct them towards Jesus.